All right, warriors, at home and in person, time for some mobility. What I'm gonna have you all do is just take a seat. So for those of you that are here in person, I grabbed those red cushions. So if you wanna sit on the cushion, you can feel free. That might help you out a little bit. And if you wanna take a seat on the floor, feel free. All right. So mobility today, just as a quick disclaimer, this is the first time I've done mobility class in a very long time. I've been lucky to have all sorts of people on the team lately to help set your guys' bodies right. So I haven't had to do it myself, but a unique situation occurred where I get to do it, and I'm very excited to do that. What we're going to be starting with is some breathing. We're going to start off with a few different breath patterns, a few different breath practices. From there, we're going to start mobilizing our joints. We're going to start with our ankles. We're going to work our way up our body. We're going to be finishing off with our necks. So just from this seated, comfortable position, you can get as comfy as you need. You're going to make your lungs big, meaning you might want to sit up tall. You might want to put your hands behind you and lean back a little bit. That's one of the positions I personally love. What we're going to start off with is breath building. So what we're going to do here is picture our lungs in 3 segments. A lower third, a middle third, and a top third. We're going to try and keep that top third and that middle third deflated for now and just breathe in through the bottom and exhale through the bottom. So start finding that breath. Inhaling nice and smooth, nice and controlled, and exhaling. In through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the nose and out through the nose as well. But we're just going to inhale into that bottom third and exhale. Good, we're going to inhale, letting the bottom third fill, then the middle third. Then we'll exhale, middle third, bottom third. Picturing the breath in your head, picturing it filling that bottom third, and then rising into that middle third. Then exhaling, thinking of the air pushing down and out, pressing from that middle third to that bottom third and out. Good, full breath now. We're going to inhale through that bottom third, into the middle third, all the way through the top third. Fill those lungs to the point of bursting. Then exhaling, top third, middle third, bottom third. Good. What we're going to go into next is called box breathing. Now how this is going to work, we're going to take at first a 3-second inhale. You're going to inhale just for a 3 count in your head. You're going to hold it for 3 seconds. You're going to exhale for 3 seconds. You're going to hold that empty breath for 3. In for 3, hold for 3, out for 3, hold for 3. If you get comfortable with that, go for 4 seconds of each. If you get comfortable with that, 5 seconds. See where you can take this one. Start with 3. breath we're going to take is 1-2 breathing. So we're going to use whatever count you just attained. So whatever you got to, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it was, 3 seconds. Let's say 3 seconds. And we're going to take an inhale for that amount of time, and then immediately we're going to exhale for double that amount. So if you're inhaling for 3, you'll exhale for 6. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 10. Let's find that comfortable position. Let's find that breath. Good. Alright, we'll be moving into some joint mobilization now. In just a second here, we'll be taking it to a standing position. We're going to be starting off with our ankles for a little bit. We're going to be moving our way up those limbs, through the knees, through the hips. Then we're going to start manipulating the spine for a little bit. Following that, we'll work our way back down the limbs, going from the shoulders through those wrists. And then we'll be finishing off in a seated position again, going through the neck. So as you're ready, just start rising up, start finding a standing position. Again, we're going to be starting with our ankle. We're going to be manipulating the joint. Now, one of the main things we're going to want to be focusing on through here is smoothing control. We want to make sure we're pressing to tension, not pain. Tension is your body's way of telling you something is working. Pain is your body's way of telling you that shit ain't right. So if you start to feel some pain, pull it back a little bit. We're also going to make sure we are isolating, not compensating. So for example, when we're hitting a joint, we're going to make sure we don't let any other joint move. So right now, we're going to start moving our ankle around. We're going to lift our heel up, and we're going to lift our toe up, but we're going to keep our knee nice and straight, because if that knee bends, it compensates. We're just going to raise that heel and raise that toe, staying smooth and controlled, keeping some weight onto that side of the body to search out a little bit of tension. outside and inside now on that same ankle, going from the pinky toe to the big toe. We're going to do our best not to sway or rock anywhere else in that body. We're fighting to own our positions, fighting to stay smooth and controlled here. Pressing into that end range of motion in both directions. Doing our best to keep that ankle under our frame. Meaning it's not stuck out to the side, it's underneath. Good, and we'll switch sides. Same idea, we're going to lift the heel up. We're going to lift the toe up. We're going to keep that knee nice and straight. And we're going to load some weight onto that side of the body to search out that little bit of tension. Start opening that ankle up. Give that ankle some love. Good, we're going to go outside and inside on that same ankle now. Doing your best not to sway or rock. Again, we're going to fight to keep everything as isolated as possible. We're staying locked down, we're staying strong and controlled. We're going to go back to that first ankle. Now what I want you to do is you lift your toes up. Now we're going to go along the complete outside edge of the foot, rolling around the side, across the ball, foot around the inside of the foot, and then the heel again. We're drawing a circle on the outside of that foot, essentially trying to keep the middle of the foot as far away from the ground as possible. And let's now switch directions. So same ankle, going the other way now. Tracing that circle, again, trying to roll just the outside edges of the foot the whole time, keeping the middle of the foot off the ground. And let's switch sides. Same idea, tracing the circle around, trying to keep the middle of the foot off the ground, just along the edges of the foot. Still doing our best to keep that knee straight. And we'll switch directions. Alright, now we're going to go up on our tippy toes nice and high. We're going to take little steps forward, and then we're going to take little steps backwards. Actively driving higher and higher and higher. We're trying to get as tall as we can here. Good, we're going to go onto those heels now, pulling your toes towards your shins, taking those little steps forward and those little steps back still. Again, pulling the toes towards the shins. Good, now we're going to go on the outsides of the feet. So on those pinky toes, big toes up, trying to keep those big toes as far from the ground as we can. We're going to go forward and we're going to go back. And we're going to fight to be real smooth and controlled here. Not a lot of room for error. We're going to stay controlled. We're going to move smoothly. Good, let's go on the inside to those feet now. Keeping those pinky toes off the ground. Little steps forward, little steps back. Alright, move those ankles a little bit. Good, we're going to move into the knee now. So feeling free to use those sticks for balance aid or finding some sort of balance aid if you need it. We're going to lift the leg up, we're going to draw a circle. Good, let's go ahead and switch directions. sides, same idea. Again, finding rotation, pressing into that edge of the circle, making sure that circle is as round and as smooth as you can make it. Good, let's switch directions. Good, let's glue the knees together. We're going to find rotation behind us now. Just drawing a circle behind us, keeping it smooth, keeping it controlled. And we'll switch directions. And we'll switch sides. And switching directions. Good. I need a dowel. So feel free to grab those dowels now and move those hips. Yep. Should have. I like to move the heat. Cool, so we're going to use the dowel for balance aid now. We're going to do the hip mobility that y'all know and love from Steel Mace Flow. So we're going to start off by pointing a toe, keeping it nice and low. We're going to rotate in. Forward first, please. Good, let's flex the foot, let's rotate out. Sides, pointing the toe, keeping it low, we're going to rotate in. Flex the foot, let's rotate out. Back to that first side, pointing the toe as high as it'll go now, rotating in. Trying to lift a little higher with each rotation, pressing into end range of motion with each rotation, searching out some tension with each rotation, pressing into it. Good, let's flex the foot, let's rotate out. Again, lifting a little higher with each rotation, pressing into that end range to open it up. Good, let's switch sides. Again, pointing the toe as high as you go, we're going to rotate in. Trying to lift a little higher with each rotation, pressing an end range of motion each rotation. Good, and let's flex the foot, let's rotate out. Good. Putting that leg down, the foot out to the side, pointing the toe, keeping it low, rotating forward. Good, flexing that foot, pointing those toes forward, rotating back. Making sure toes are pointed forward, or maybe a little towards the ground, just not towards the sky. Finding some rotation, finding some tension. Good, let's switch sides. Same idea, pointing the toe, keeping it low. We're going to rotate forward. Good, flexing that foot, toes stay pointed forward to the ground, we'll rotate back. Good, switching sides again, pointing the toe, high as you go, we're going to rotate forward. Lifting a little higher with each rotation, pressing into end range of motion each rotation, lifting a little higher each rotation. Good, flexing the foot, keeping the toes pointed forward, we'll rotate back. Trying to lift a little higher with each rotation, pressing that end range with each rotation. Good, let's switch sides. Again, pointing that toe, high as you go, we're going to rotate forward. Lifting a little higher with each rotation, pressing into that end range each rotation. Good, let's flex the foot, keeping the toes forward, rotating back. Good, let's take it to a leg swing. Good, switch sides. Good, swing that leg right up to the side. And we'll switch sides. Good, we're going to open it up, close it back down. Good, we'll go ahead and switch sides. Good. All right, we're going to start moving into that spine now. We're going to start with the hips. We're going to glide them from side to side. So we're going to keep our feet hip width or shoulder width apart, no further. We're going to glide those hips from side to side, searching for separation. You might want to bend and extend a leg. You might just want to pull those obliques. You do you. I personally like to put a hand on my sternum, a hand below my navel so I can see and feel. the separation between upper and lower. But I encourage you to find whatever's comfortable for you. Good. We're going to take it into a pelvic tilt now. So we're going to tilt those hips backward. We're going to tilt those hips forward. We're going to search out separation still between upper and lower, meaning ribs are going to stay locked, but those hips are going to move. You might want a soft knee for this one, meaning a little bit of bend in those legs. I like to picture my hips as a dish with this one. Spilling water out the front, spilling water out the back. Time-lapsed the mobility portion yesterday in class. This part was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Eight people just pounding away as fast as they could.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Everything else, I was like, man, this looks so cool. Then it got to that, and I was like, I can't post this. Let's take it to rotation now. So we're going to keep separation between upper and lower. Ribs are going to stay locked down. Hips are going to move. Yeah, oh yeah. So again, those soft knees can help with this one, or you can keep them straight and just let the abdominal muscles move those hips around a little bit. In reality, no matter what, a little bit of both is going to work. So we're just going to focus on being smooth and controlled, and let's go ahead and switch directions. Again, fighting for that nice, smooth, controlled rotation, still owning that separation between upper and lower. Meaning ribs are going to stay locked, hips are moving. We're going to own that. We're going to continue to own that. Good. We're going to work our way up that spine now. So we're going to glide those ribs from side to side. So I'm still going to keep my hips locked down and pushing those ribs now. Sometimes having those arms out can help because we can see the level. Sometimes having that hand on that sternum, that hand below the navel can help because then we can see and feel the separation. But that's what we're searching for here, separation. So you might want to rip the floor apart with your feet a little bit to help keep those hips locked down. And we're pushing from side to side, looking for the glide, meaning the shoulders are staying level. We don't want to tilt and turn right now. We want to slide and we want to glide. Good. We're going to push those ribs forward and we're going to pull those ribs back. So we're thinking cat-cow here. Dropping that chest, pulling it back. Thinking with your ribs. Thinking with your heart, not with your shoulders. Ideally, those shoulders aren't moving much. It's all those ribs. Of course, we can get those arms involved to help us find the motion. But remember, this is for the spine, meaning we want the ribs to move, not those shoulders. Breath can help with this one, inhaling forward and exhaling back. We're going to take this to rotation now as well. So we'll push those ribs out to the side, forward, back, side, forward, back, side. We're going to draw that circle. So again, I'm still focused on moving my ribs, not my shoulders. I'm focused on keeping my sternum facing forward, my shoulders level. So I'm looking for the slide and the glide, not the tilt and the turn. Good, let's go ahead and switch directions. That spine a little different now. What I want us to do is go for a little bit of a side bend, from side to side. So we're just going to let that arm go long down the body. Smooth and control, only bending as far as you can control your rise. Now we're going to take that sternum, we're going to point it to the sky, and then we're going to point it to the ground. So I'm focused at bending below my ribs, just below my ribs, not at my waist right now. Very good. All right, we're going to move into the shoulders now. What we're going to do first is lift the shoulders up towards the earlobes, then drive them down as though we're trying to lift ourselves up. We're going to go back and forth like that, up to the earlobes, driving down. Up to the earlobes, driving down. Good. Now we're going to pinch our shoulder blades, and then we're going to try and pinch our shoulders in front of us. Pinch shoulder blades, pinch in front. Good. Now we're going to take that to a circle. So we're going to lift them up to our earlobes, as far back as they'll go, as far down as they'll go, as far forward as they'll go. Big circles. At the end range of motion, the whole circle through. Good, let's switch directions. Put one arm out to the side, palm up, one palm out to the side, palm down, and they'll trade places. And we'll continue to let them trade places, pressing into end range of motion in both directions to search out tension in both directions. Good, let's drop that shoulder towards that center line a little bit, changing the angle of that rotation, changing the angle of that tension, maybe adding further tension. Good, let's get that hip involved now, pressing it out to the side, adding further rotation, changing the angle further, maybe changing the tension further. Good, we're going to go palm facing forward. We're going to lift it up until it gets stuck. We'll rotate it and circle through. Doing our best to keep chest and shoulders pointed forward. We're not twisting, turning, or rotating in that trunk. If anything, we're driving that side of the chest forward, searching out extra tension. Good, let's switch sides. Again, palms forward, up to stuck, rotate and circle through. All right, we're gonna need the dowels for this one. For this next one, at home, broomstick. All right, we're gonna grab our hands nice and wide as they'll go to begin. We're gonna have our palms facing back. We're gonna do our best to keep our arms nice and straight. We're gonna lift that up and over to that back position, or as far as we can. Then we'll return home. If you got stuck, fantastic, stay there. If you were able to do that, cheat your hands in a little bit and find how close you can get those hands while still being able to keep those elbows straight and finding that full range. Front and back. Good, we're going to take it to a little bit of rotation now. So keeping the, we'll go to the right. So you're going to keep your right hand down, you're going to lift your left arm up and bring it around. Then your right arm will chase it. And we're going to draw a circle around the body. Again, the goal is to keep the arms as straight as possible. Get into the bottom position in front of you, get into the bottom position behind you. Start to find it easy, feel free to get those hands a little closer together. Of course, keep in mind the goal is straight elbows. As close to straight as we can keep them. Okay, let's go ahead and switch directions. This next one might be a little hard to convey over camera, so please bear with me. I'm going to go into an under grip with this dowel in front of me. One hand's going to be right at the end. That hand's going to be nice and controlled. The other hand's going to be loose, so the dowel can turn in it if I want to, which I do. Because what I'm going to do is bring my hand to my heart, lift my elbow up, and then push down in between there so my palm faces forward. Then if I have it, I'm going to slide out a little bit to find more tension. Bring it home. Pushing that elbow out and up, palm forward. Hand to heart, elbow up, push down. In and out. So have your hand the other way, please, Marie. Yep. Hand to heart, elbow up, push down. So let your hand, your back of your fingers push against your heart. So the back of your fingers need to come to your heart now. So they got to come up and over and down. Yeah. Good. All right, let's switch sides. Hand to heart, elbow up, back of the hand pushes down the body. Bring it home, back of the hand up the body, out. Hand to heart, back of the hand down. So flip that hand over again. Yep. Hand to heart, elbow up, push down. Put that to the side. All right, we're going to go with the elbow rotation just a little bit here. So we're going to draw a circle, reach it back as far as we can, taking our time along that back end range of motion, really reaching back there. And let's switch directions. Good, let's switch sides. Same idea, finding rotation, taking our time, reaching back there. Good, let's switch directions. Alright, we're going to be going to our wrists now. We're going to start with wide fingers, straight elbows, and we're just going to raise and lower. Pressing an end range of motion, searching out some tension in both directions. Good, let's take it to rotation now, drawing a circle, pressing into that end range of motion, the whole circle through. Finding some tension that whole circle through. Good, let's switch directions. Very good. All right, the rest of the wrist is going to take place from a kneeling position, so you can feel free to use those pillows to kneel on. You can kneel on your yoga mats, whatever you need to do. I'm going to adjust the camera angle quick so that the people at home can see what is up. All right, so we're gonna go nice wide fingers, nice straight elbows. In fact, what I'm gonna do with my elbow is I'm gonna take the eye of the elbow and I'm gonna rotate it forward. So the eye of the elbow is pointing forward, the heel is pointing back. I'm going to now rock back and forth. We're just gonna rock back and forth for a little bit, putting some tension in, releasing some tension. Good, so now at that far end range where you're feeling the most tension, we're just going to hold that for a little bit. Good, releasing that. What we're going to do next is we're going to go onto the back of our hands. So watch this. I'm going to put the back of my hands down with my fingers forward. Then I'm going to rotate them around. Next to my legs or further back is easier. Further ahead, more challenging. My fingers, pardon me, are going to face my knees. My elbows are going to be straight and externally rotated. Meaning eye of the elbow pointed forward, point of the elbow pointing back. And I'm going to sit back towards my heels. And I'm going to hold that. And again, the closer to your knees you are, the easier this movement will be. Beside your knees being your easiest option. The further ahead your hands are, the
the more challenging this will be. We're going to load some weight into that upper body as well, making sure we're searching out tension. Fighting to keep those elbows straight. Good, let's release that. Good. All right, just press back onto those palms. What we're going to do next, we're going to have the heels of our hands together, our fingers pointed out to the side. The further apart they are, the easier this movement is. The tighter together, the more challenging. We're going to set up in that position, and we're going to rock from side to side, keeping the heel of our hand down on the ground, pressing as far as we can without letting the heel of the hand lift up, finding tension from side to side. Again, we want to keep those elbows straight and externally rotated. Try and point the eye of the elbow forward, the point of the elbow back. Good, let's release that. We're going to be going on the back of the palms in a seal position now. Crossed over is easier, wider is more challenging. Fingers will point to each other, and again, we're going to rock from side to side. Crossed over easier, further away more challenging. Again, elbows are straight. If the elbows are not straight, bring the hands closer across them over to try and find those straight elbows. Still, in my opinion, one of the toughest push-up variations. Seal push-ups, back of the hands.
Right now, I really don't have much weight on it.
Good. All right, so release that. Let's go back into that butterfly position, so with the heels of the hands together. And we're going to draw a circle now. So I'm going to rotate my weight to the side, forward to the side, and then I'm going to switch directions. So like I'm taking my chest and drawing a circle over top of my wrists, or drawing a circle over my wrists with my heart. Good, let's release that. Let's go onto the back of the hands, the seal position, same idea. Again, crossed over easier, further apart more challenging. We're going to draw a circle. Circle in the seal with our hearts, y'all. Good, let's go ahead and press back onto those palms, reset. Good, and we're going to take it to a finger fan now. So we're going to stack our fingers on our index finger. We're going to fan them open as wide as they'll go. We'll stack them on the pinky. Fan open wide index, fan open wide pinky, back and forth. We'll be doing this for a little while, so feel free to play with patterns if you know any. All right, time to finish with that neck. What we're going to do is glance up and glance back down. Pressing the end range of motion in both directions, keeping our ribs locked. Good, we'll glance left and right. Let's tilt now from side to side. Pushing the opposite shoulder down. Good, now keeping that chin nice and level, we're going to push it forward, we're going to pull it back. Pushing it forward, pulling it back. Keeping it smooth, keeping it controlled. Good, we're going to take that slide and glide now. We're going to move it side to side now. Good, let's take it to rotation. So we're going to draw a circle, keeping that chin nice and level, keeping that circle smooth and controlled. Good, switching directions. Good, take a pause. Very good, just start taking some breaths. So that's what I have for you today. A few things I want to mention. One, hydrate lots tonight and tomorrow. We moved some areas around. We got a little bit extra fluid into some tissues that needed it. Your body is going to need more fluid, more water than it's used to. Get some water in you. If you are sore, that is not an anomaly. That does happen sometimes when we do mobility. What you're going to need to do is do a little bit more of what we did today. So if you feel a joint that feels like you got some love today, it's feeling a little sore, move it around how we moved it around today. Just ease back a little bit. Just keep that blood flowing. But that's what I have for you all today. This isn't yoga, so I'm not going to say namaste, but the badass in me recognizes the badass in you, so namaste. Namaste to you all. That is what I have for you tonight. Thank you very much. Much love.
Namaste.
Namaste.